Okay, so now we have connected an external style sheet to our document, and the rules have flown into the document from that as soon as we made the link to it. Now what I want to do is I want to start exploring the Cascade a little bit so that you can understand this. So the main difference between Doc 1 and Doc 2 right now is that in Doc 1 we added a little bit of information in the main body, and we added this class of nav items to the navigation. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to grab, I'm just going to replace the nav section in Doc 2 with the nav section from Doc 1. And I'm doing this just because it's quicker than going through and adding the code to add the class of nav item. So what you'll see, essentially what I've done is added in each of those list items, I've added the class of nav item, and I just did a shortcut of doing that. That's where I was at. Now, you'll notice that on Doc 1, it's got that gray background. In Doc 2, it doesn't. So the reason that is that in this basic CSS document, I didn't grab the nav item from the code. I'm back into Doc 1, and this should actually say this is document 1, just to clarify. Okay, so what I didn't do when I moved the information into the external style sheet, I didn't grab this nav item. I'm going to go ahead and grab that now, and I'm going to move it into this base CSS, and then I'm going to give it a different hexadecimal color, or actually I'll just call it red. Let's give it a red background because that's quick, easy one to do. So now when I come to this, let me save that. So when I come into document 2, you'll see that it has applied that red background color. Now if we look at document 1, it's still got the gray background color, but that's because it's not using that external style sheets. It's using the embedded style sheets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up that Doc 3, and I'm going to bring in some of the details from Doc 2 to make them essentially the same document. So we could do this manually, or we could do this as cut and paste. I'm going to go ahead and do it as cut and paste just to make it a little bit quicker. So from Doc 2, I'm going to grab that link to the style sheet, and again this is up in the head tag. I'm going to grab that link and I'm going to paste it into Doc 3. So inside the head tag, because that's where you link to external style sheets, when I come out of there, it applies the rules. The other thing that I want to do is just to make it easy, I'm going to grab everything in the body tag, and I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to paste it over that document in Doc 3. So grab the body, and what this essentially does is it brings that navigation in as well. So there's different ways to do it. I'm just taking a shortcut of copying and pasting. So we now have two documents that are using that same external style sheet, Doc 2 and Doc 3. And you can tell by looking here, or what we can do is go into here and inside the main body on document 2, this is page 2, and document 3, we'll just put this is document 3 or page 3 to be consistent with what I'm doing in the other sections. Okay, so what we want to do is demonstrate what's going on with the Cascade here. So what I'm going to do in document 3, I've already got a style sheet, an external style sheet added. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a style element to this head. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this nav item code. I went back to Doc 1 where I've got the styles in the embedded style sheet. I'm just going to copy this one style for the class of nav item, and I'm going to paste that into the style section here. Follow what I'm doing there? So on this document 1, it's just the embedded style sheet. In Doc 2, it's an external style sheet. In Doc 3, I've got the external style sheet and I have the an embedded style sheet as well. So it's using both the embedded and the external. So now when I click into Doc 3 and it updates, what's happened is that this background has turned to gray, the same color as we had in Doc 1, because we added this class of nav item with a background color of essentially gray to that. Now, why is that showing up as gray instead of red? That's where we need to understand the cascade, because if it's pulling from this style sheet, the nav item, the class of nav item should be red, and Doc 3 is pulling that in, but it's gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if you recall how to comment out, I'm going to comment out this nav item and we'll see what's going on. So by commenting it out, it's not interpreted by the browser, and so it goes back to red. So what's happened here, what this demonstrates, is that it is loading the background color of red from this basic CSS, but when this is not commented out, what it's doing is it's overriding the rule from the style sheet, and that's part of the cascade. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and we'll look at the cascade, and I'll explain how that works and why we've got what's going on in this case happening.